Conservative commentator Dan Bongino recently surprised his audience by announcing that he's leaving Fox News. Bongino, known for his strong views and direct style, has many fans wondering why he made this decision. The network hasn't given a clear explanation, leaving people curious. In a short statement, Bongino hinted that personal issues have been troubling him. This unexpected news has led to a lot of speculation, especially since Bongino has been an important figure in conservative media. His fans are now left to question what's next for him and what led to his departure from Fox News. Dan Bongino, a well-known media commentator and radio host, has had a diverse career. Born on December 4, 1974 in Queens, New York City, he grew up in a tough neighborhood, which shaped his early views and career path. From a young age, Bongino was interested in law enforcement and public service, motivated by a desire to protect his community. He went to Archbishop Malloy High School, a Catholic school in Queens, known for its focus on discipline and hard work. These qualities helped develop his strong work ethic. After high school, he attended Queens College and earned a bachelor's degree in psychology, which later benefited his law enforcement career. Bongino didn't stop there. He continued his education and received an MBA from Pennsylvania State University. His studies in psychology and business gave him a solid foundation for his future work in law enforcement, politics, and media. From an early age, Dan Bongino wanted to serve and protect his community, which led him to join the New York City Police Department, NYPD, in 1995. Working as an NYPD officer, he gained important experience in urban policing, handling crime prevention, investigations, and community relations. His time with the NYPD was crucial in shaping his understanding of law enforcement in a challenging environment and strengthened his commitment to public service. Beyond his academic achievements, Bongino was also known for his athleticism. He was an active participant in various sports and maintained a strict fitness routine. This physical fitness was vital for his role with the United States Secret Service, where both mental and physical readiness were crucial. Dan Bongino has had a varied career in law enforcement, politics, and media, making him a notable figure in conservative circles. He started his career as a police officer with the New York City Police Department, NYPD, from 1995 to 1999. This role gave him valuable experience with crime and public safety, which later shaped his views as a commentator and political figure. In 1999, Bongino moved to the United States Secret Service as a special agent. He began working in the New York field office on federal investigations. By 2002, he was advanced to an instructor position at the Secret Service Training Academy in Beltsville, Maryland, where he taught and guided new agents in protective operations and federal law enforcement. In 2006, Dan Bongino's career took a major step forward when he was assigned to the Presidential Protection Division. This role put him close to President George W. Bush during his second term. When Barack Obama became president in 2009, Bongino continued to provide security for the new leader during a challenging time. Bongino proved his skills as a federal agent, gaining recognition for his work. In 2011, the Baltimore Sun reported that he played a key role in investigating a car rental fraud scheme. This investigation led to charges against 2 individuals and highlighted Bongino's effectiveness as a crime fighter, a focus he would maintain in his public career. After leaving the Secret Service in May 2011, Dan Bongino shifted his focus to politics and the media. In 2013, he released his first memoir, Life Inside the Bubble: Why a Top-Ranked Secret Service Agent Walked Away from It All. The book gave readers an inside view of his time with the Secret Service, including his roles in protecting Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama, investigating federal crimes, and running for the U.S. Senate. The memoir helped establish Bongino's voice in conservative circles. Bongino used his Secret Service experience as a key part of his political platform, aiming to appeal to voters concerned about security. However, some people, including his colleagues, criticized him for allegedly overstating his role and connections to President Obama to further his political career. Despite his significant role in protecting the president, these criticisms affected his political image. Some critics said Bongino was using his Secret Service background to gain attention and credibility. Bongino responded by saying his book was a personal account of his Secret Service time, not a tell-all. He also distanced himself from the false birtherism conspiracy theory about President Obama's birthplace. Despite the criticism, Bongino kept working on his public image. In January 2016, he released a second book, The Fight, a Secret Service agent's inside account of security failings and the political machine. This book explored his Secret Service experiences and his views on security issues and political corruption in government. During this time, Bongino started shifting from law enforcement to the media. He became a regular on conservative radio and TV shows, often appearing on programs hosted by Sean Hannity and Mark Levin. His Secret Service background and strong defense of conservative views made him popular with right-wing audiences. He also started his own projects, including the Bongino Report, a news site meant to offer a conservative alternative to the Drudge Report. With his growing presence in politics and security, Bongino naturally moved into media. His media career took off quickly, making him a major voice in conservative commentary. He has become a prominent radio host, author, commentator, and key figure in conservative media, using his law enforcement and Secret Service background to boost his credibility. Dan Bongino first gained attention as a commentator on local and national radio. He often guest-hosted shows by well-known conservative figures like Sean Hannity and Mark Levin. His skills in discussing security, law enforcement, and conservative politics made him popular in the media. He also filled in on WMAL-FM in Washington, D.C. and WBAL in Baltimore, which helped him grow his presence in conservative talk radio. From 2017, Bongino was a paid contributor to NRA-TV, run by the National Rifle Association. This role helped him focus on Second Amendment rights and other key conservative issues. When NRA-TV shut down in 2019, Bongino shifted his attention to other media projects. Dan Bongino has made many appearances on Fox News, where he became a regular guest on opinion shows. His views matched the network's audience, making him a good fit. In December 2013, he guest-hosted Sean Hannity's show, boosting his profile. Later, in December 2019, Bongino started the Bongino Report, a news website meant to offer a conservative alternative to the Drudge Report. He had criticized Matt Drudge, the founder of Drudge Report, for allegedly abandoning Trump supporters, and his new site aimed to address this gap. The site quickly attracted conservative readers looking for news that matched their views. Bongino has also had a strong presence on social media. In October 2020, Politico noted that his Facebook posts were among the most shared, showing his broad online reach. However, his influence has faced criticism. In November 2020, the New York Times named him one of the top 5 spreaders of election misinformation, indicating his role in spreading false claims about the 2020 presidential election. His media presence was further affected by the Capitol riots on January 6, 2021. Despite these challenges, Bongino's career kept growing. In March 2021, Cumulus Media hired him to replace the Rush Limbaugh show on its talk radio stations. Limbaugh had been a major figure in conservative talk radio, so Bongino's new role showed his rising influence. Cumulus was already airing Bongino's one-hour podcast, which had gained a strong following. Bongino's success continued when Fox News announced in May 2021 that he would host a new weekend show called Unfiltered with Dan Bongino, which started on June 5th. This show gave him a chance to discuss current events, interview guests, and share his views on politics. Between July and August 2021, Bongino also hosted Canceled in the USAA, a 5-part series on Fox Nation about cancel culture. The series featured interviews with people who felt they were canceled for their opinions or beliefs. Bongino's radio show became one of the most popular in the country, with about 8.5 million listeners, according to Talkers Magazine, in October 2021. Out of many shows trying to fill Rush Limbaugh's spot, Bongino's was second only to The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, showing his strong influence in conservative talk radio. In December 2022, Bongino said he would end his Cumulus radio show when his contract was up in 18 months. However, Cumulus began removing his show from its stations in June 2023. Despite this, Bongino changed his mind in December 2023 and signed a new multi-year contract with Westwood One, keeping him on the air. Eventually, Bongino's time with Fox News came to an end. On April 20, 2023, he and Fox News parted ways due to unsuccessful contract negotiations. This ended his time with one of the top conservative media networks and opened up new opportunities for him in the changing media world. Bongino, who hosted the popular weekend show Unfiltered with Dan Bongino on Fox News, said they couldn't agree on the terms for renewing his contract. Despite his show's strong following and its appeal to Fox News' conservative audience, the exact reasons for the failed negotiations are not fully known. Bongino suggested that his departure from Fox News was mutual and that there were no hard feelings. He explained that the two sides simply had different goals and couldn't agree on a new deal. Bongino thanked Fox News for the opportunity, saying, "It's not some big conspiracy theory. There's no bitterness. We just couldn't agree on an extension, and that's all there is to it." He assured his audience that his exit was a natural end to his time with the network. Although Bongino left Fox News, where his show, Unfiltered, had become popular, he continued to be active in conservative media. He kept reaching his audience through his radio show and podcast. Bongino's move into politics has featured several ambitious but ultimately unsuccessful campaigns. These efforts showed his appeal to some Republican voters but also highlighted the challenges of shifting from law enforcement and commentary to elected office. Bongino began his political career in 2012 by running for the U.S. Senate in Maryland. With his background as a former Secret Service agent, he presented himself as a strong conservative with a deep understanding of national security and government. His campaign stood out because of his strong criticism of Obama's policies, which resonated with Maryland's conservative voters. Former gubernatorial candidate Brian Murphy served as Bongino's campaign chairman, adding some political experience to his otherwise inexperienced team. Despite his lack of experience in elected office, Bongino won the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate with 33.8% of the vote. He defeated 9 other candidates, including some experienced politicians. However, the general election was much tougher. Maryland, which heavily leans Democratic, was always going to be a challenging battleground for a Republican. Bongino faced incumbent Democrat Ben Cardin and independent candidate Rob Sobani. Bongino had trouble gaining support beyond the Republican base, and he only received 26.6% of the vote, losing decisively to Cardin. This defeat was just the first of several electoral losses for Bongino. Overcoming strong Democratic support in heavily Democratic states is difficult. However, Bongino didn't give up. He then focused on running for the U.S. House of Representatives in Maryland's 6th Congressional District in the 2014 midterm elections. This district, which includes both rural and suburban areas, was a more favorable place for a Republican, though it was still competitive. In his 2014 campaign, Bongino focused on attacking the incumbent Democrat, John Delaney. He criticized Delaney for being out of touch with the district's conservative voters and positioned himself as a defender of traditional values. Bongino's campaign highlighted issues like government overreach, the Affordable Care Act, and Second Amendment rights to energize Republican supporters. The race was close, with Bongino winning in 4 of the district's 5 counties, showing strong support in rural areas. However, he struggled with the strong Democratic support in Montgomery County, a wealthy suburb of Washington, D.C. He faced a 2,500-vote deficit there, which helped Delaney win re-election. Bongino lost the election by just 1.5 percentage points. After his narrow loss in Maryland, Bongino didn't give up. He moved to Florida in 2015, aiming to continue his political career. Florida's diverse and competitive political scene seemed like a better match for his conservative views. At first, he thought about running for the U.S. Senate, or Florida's 18th congressional district in 2016. Instead, he decided to run for the Republican nomination for Florida's 19th congressional district, which was a safer Republican seat and offered a better chance of winning. In the Florida race, Bongino faced strong competition. He ran against Chauncey Goss, a Sanibel City councilman with a solid local network, and Francis Rooney, a wealthy businessman and former U.S. ambassador. The primary campaign was heated, with Bongino promoting his outsider status and conservative values while criticizing his opponents as part of the establishment. In the 2016 campaign, Bongino faced controversy. In August, he had a heated argument with a reporter about a story in the Naples Daily News. He responded with a foul-mouthed rant, accusing the reporter of being dishonest and biased. This incident, recorded and shared by Politico, divided opinions about him further. Some people praised him for standing up to the media, while others criticized his lack of professionalism. Despite his efforts, Bongino's campaign did not gain enough support. In the August 2016 primary, he finished third, losing the Republican nomination to Francis Rooney, who later won the general election. This loss was Bongino's third unsuccessful run for office and showed the difficulty he had in standing out among many Republicans. Nevertheless, he remains a prominent voice today. Bongino's career has had its share of controversy, but what happened? On October 19, 2021, Dan Bongino, a well-known conservative commentator and radio host, strongly opposed corporate vaccine mandates. He argued that such mandates were an overreach by employers into personal health decisions. Although Bongino was vaccinated himself, he opposed the mandates because he believed in individual freedoms and supported those affected by these policies. The conflict became more intense when Cumulus Media, Bongino's employer, announced in September 2021 that all employees needed to be vaccinated against COVID-19. This policy was part of efforts to prevent the virus spread, especially in workplaces where remote work wasn't possible. However, some employees refused to comply, leading to their termination by October 11, 2021. This move caused considerable controversy and debate. Bongino, with his influential daily radio show, publicly challenged the vaccine mandate. He argued that employees should have the right to make their own health decisions without pressure or risking their jobs. On his show, he gave Cumulus Media an ultimatum. They could keep him or enforce the mandate, but not both. He framed this as defending employees who didn't want to comply with the mandate, though some saw him as arrogant. After making this ultimatum, Bongino took almost 2 weeks off from his show, causing his audience and the media to wonder about the outcome of his dispute with Cumulus. His break was seen as a sign that he was serious about leaving if the mandate wasn't changed, but the details of his negotiations with Cumulus were unclear, leading to more speculation. When Bongino returned to his show, he said he was still negotiating with Cumulus Media about the vaccine mandate. He didn't share details but made it clear he wasn't backing down. To show his commitment, Bongino announced he was setting up a fund to help former Cumulus employees who lost their jobs due to the mandate. This fund aimed to support those who lost their jobs for sticking to their personal beliefs and made Bongino appear as a defender of personal freedom. Not everyone believed in the sincerity or effectiveness of his threat. Brian Rosenwald, a historian who studies talk radio, questioned Bongino's motives. Rosenwald thought Bongino's ultimatum was more about making a statement than about real change. He believed Bongino's threat to leave was unlikely to happen because both Bongino and Cumulus Media had too much to lose. Cumulus had invested heavily in promoting Bongino's show, and Bongino benefited from the large platform Cumulus provided. Rosenwald saw it as a strategic move rather than a genuine threat. Bongino stood firm and unapologetic about his position. He defended his actions as a fight for personal freedom. In a December 2021 interview with The New Yorker, he explained that he got vaccinated on his doctor's advice due to his lymphoma. This added complexity to his public stance. He opposed vaccine mandates but chose to get vaccinated because of his health. Bongino's stance reflected the national debate over balancing public health and individual rights. His challenge against his employer resonated with those skeptical of government and corporate health rules. However, it also drew criticism from people who saw vaccine mandates as crucial for public health during the pandemic. Bongino's controversies go beyond the vaccine mandate. One major issue is his promotion of the Spygate conspiracy theory, which claims the Obama administration spied illegally on Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. Bongino became a leading supporter of this theory and wrote a book, Spygate: The Attempted Sabotage of Donald J. Trump, in 2019. The book helped establish him as a strong defender of Trump and a critic of the so-called deep state, appealing to many of Trump's supporters. Bongino has also faced significant health challenges. On September 23, 2020, he revealed that doctors had found a 7 cm tumor in his throat. This news was unexpected and deeply worrying for him and his family, especially with the uncertainty about whether the tumor was benign or malignant. Determined to tackle the issue, Bongino flew to New York on September 25 for more tests and consultations with specialists. By October 2, things had worsened. Bongino announced that doctors had given him unsettling news and that he was scheduled for surgery on October 7 to remove the tumor and plan further treatment. After the surgery, Bongino told his supporters on social media that the tumor had been successfully removed. However, he soon learned that he likely had lymphoma. Despite this tough news, Bongino showed courage and announced he would start more treatment. On October 16, he was officially diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, a type of cancer affecting the lymphatic system. This diagnosis marked the start of a challenging period of medical treatment and consultations with his doctors. Despite the tough times, Bongino stayed publicly positive while dealing with his illness. His determination led to success, and in July 2021, he announced that he had overcome cancer, ending his challenging battle. What do you think about Dan Bongino leaving Fox News? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.